Tropical storm Harvey has forced thousands of people from their homes, along with countless pets. Many are now abandoned, lost, or homeless.
Good morning. I'm about 200 miles east of Houston in San Antonio's Animal Care Services shelter. They are working with the Humane Society of the United States to clear out this shelter.
We could only take this dog, Charlie, because the waters were too high.
When Autumn Henley evacuated, she had to leave 3 of her dogs behind and hope for the best.
Luckily, a family that lived in the neighborhood had a boat, and they went back and rescued the other 3 dogs from the upstairs bathroom.
Across hurricane-ravaged Texas, owners, neighbors, and Good Samaritans are doing what they can to rescue 4-legged friends. And it's not just pet owners that need help. Well,
we're looking at a dire situation, and not just for people, but for pets.
American Humane has been rescuing animals now for over 100 years. We've seen many floods in the past, and this is really on a magnitude that we haven't quite seen. Consider that 100,000 homes have been destroyed, and about 65% of Americans own a pet. That gives you some perspective on how many animals are in harm's way. We're talking thousands, potentially tens of thousands of animals. So American Humane has come in and brought our 2 large 50-foot rigs with supplies and food to help out with the effort. The residents of Houston, the pets of Houston, they're going to be hurting for a long time. So when the media trucks go away and it stops cycling in the news as much, literally for weeks and months, the cleanup effort, the recovery effort, the reunification effort will go on and on.
So we want you to write out your impressions of what you saw, okay? So you all have these Post-its, and you can use different colors, and you have markers. So you can write 1 word on here. And you can come up to the board and stick it on here. Shy to take somebody's Post-it and move it to another spot, so you can organize it.
After looking at them, feel free to add one.
You know, on a 3D print.
Anybody want to know what the actual challenge is? I think some people are already working towards figuring it or have figured it out. All right, here is your challenge. For today, you will design a device to be used safely and effectively to assist in the evacuation of pets during a life-threatening event such as a hurricane or flood.
1 moment to tell you, because we didn't stress this. Part of the day of design that everybody who's participating in this, the 1 million people participating in this in the next week or so, part of it, the process is that you do have to work in teams.
It could be crazily possible that this group will come up with one idea that has multiple components so that the entire group is working on a single item, but you guys are doing one part of it and you're doing another part. You know, it could be a complex idea with multiple parts to it.
Right, right. And it
We
might-
don't know what you're going to come up with.
Donating cat food or dog food, I think about usually donating human supplies. So when it comes to animals, I think that's really important.
Hunger, thirst, cleanliness.
They should have some sort of name or some sort of way, just in case your animal gets lost. Their name.
People chip
and
their
like,
pets, right?
some people,
Yeah,
but
some
not
people do.
everyone. But not everyone. So maybe we should have something, or a tag that says the animal's name, who to contact, and their phone number.
How about what's the name? Heating. It's gonna get cold, right?
Well, let's see, when there's an emergency, a signal goes off, and they'll send signals to and then every animal, meaning every animal will try to run to the shelter.
Yeah, some kind of like conditioning to be able to groom them toward a specific path. So probably following what he's saying too.
We all make a carrier for a fish.
I mean, it can apply to any animal that doesn't normally stay in the water.
Yeah, that's true. But when you think of a carrier,
Device, right?
The great could be on the
yeah.
top.
Yeah.
And
That
then all
too.
four sides.
Yeah, but what if it flips?
what things are we trying to incorporate into it? So it needs to have some sort of identification, right? It needs some sort of compartment, maybe to hold supplies.
They do that, you know, like the things that they do with like turtles.
No.
They'll capture them, and
They tag them.
and they'll tag them so that they can more accurately like measure the population.
Because most people won't want that because of privacy issues.
It's something that you offer people. It gives them a better chance of having their animals safe.
What is your problem?
Some sort of storage for it.
Actually, we could do that. We could do that one thing that, like, it's cool. Like, you put it over water, and
The bottom part of it, the surroundings, just to make sure water doesn't get in or out. And we can have just the animal inside and based on the tracking device.
Will assist in evacuation of pets by allowing owners to track
Yeah, but we won't want to make it like something inflatable. So, wow, what's the name?
And have you ever seen the Rubik's Cube balls? Like the 360 with like the balls on the inside? Do you wanna, I mean,
I was running. It's back in a little bus, just like.
There's gonna basically going to
we need to finish putting tape on this side, and then we'll end up cutting it.
So we have a full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 meters.
What are those for?
You get to see that in the presentation.
Oh, it's all a secret.
This is the.
Doing is trying to put a sphere inside of a sphere with, we're looking at magnets now to keep it upright. Yeah, inside board, yeah. Board moving.
introduce and explain to everyone who's on our feedback panel today. First, we have Captain Kathleen Knuth, who is a captain of EMS with the New York City Fire Department. Second, we have Dr. Jeffrey Fagan, who is the Dean of St. John's College of Liberal Arts and Sciences at St. John's University, where he's been the Dean now for 17 years. Our next panelist is Dr. Andrew Grossfield, who is faculty member here, faculty of math here at Vaughan College, and Dr. Grossfield has been here at Vaughan for a couple of years, right?
What we were faced with doing, which Eleanor sort of explained, is in a situation like Hurricane Harvey, when there's so many pets stranded inside their homes, or if a pet owner is trying to evacuate their pet from their home to a respective shelter, how do they do that without getting the pet wet, or if they also have young children? And so we built 2 models that would assist the pet owner in taking its pet through rough waters and with a current and stuff like that. So originally we came up with this model, and then about 40 minutes to the end we moved on to this. So Emily, would you like to sort of explain how we came up with this in the beginning, or Andrew?
So this, before a hurricane, you would put a cat or dog or whatever in this, and there's water in it. There's a way to collect the water from the flooding, and it floats, and basically it's just, it is shelter for about maybe 3 to 8 hours, maybe 1 or 2 days. And since there's a GPS tracker, there's a tracker on this, so people could easily find the pets during the flood.
Sort of to elaborate, there is a type of material that water bottles and different sort of food storage containers are being made out of. That's like a silicone type plastic that collapses. So we thought if the main structure of this cage, I guess you could call it, was made of that material, then a family could store it under a kitchen cabinet or under a bed, and on a shelf, and in the case of an emergency they could quickly grab it, put their pet inside, and try to get to safety. Emily, would you like to explain some of what this is and some of the other details that we...
So if any of you have gone snorkeling before, they make snorkels that have like a little cap that cover the tube to allow airflow. So what this is, I'm just going to move it right now. There's a little ping pong ball on the inside, and as you place it into the water, the pressure from the water actually pushes the ping pong ball up to cover the hole so that water doesn't come into the box. So it allows airflow constantly if you're stuck in the box. But if it tips or flips, water doesn't get inside of the box. And this is placed on either side. The reason being is that if it's on its right side, left side, on the back, it still has airflow. If it's flipped all the way onto its side that it's placed on, well, there's not going to be any airflow. So you would have to have one on the top and bottom. So if it fully flips, there's still one on top. And again, because of that ping pong ball in there, it traps the air inside and doesn't allow the water in, even though there's a hole there.
Also, of course, this is not going to be made out of cardboard.
So what Jake was saying before, with the silicone, maybe about an inch of silicone that's collapsible, so it's can be easily stored inside of the home, and with preferably a screw top. Now for this, we also decided that it's important to have some sort of handle. So it's made to be for you to put your pet inside and for you to pull it to safety. So there's this right here, which we switched in front of the new one, but originally it was on this one. It's placed onto the outside and it's put around to your waist because your waist can hold a lot of weight, and it also frees up with your hands.
So as I'm walking through like flood waters, my pet is safe inside and I can hold either a child or a bag that I'm carrying. I don't have to worry about my pet and what I'm carrying. I can multitask.
And it's a reflective material, so if your GPS isn't working and it gets lost, someone else will see it.
You just put reflective tape on it. Basically a mirror.
Okay. So that was our first cage. Is there anything anyone else wants to say about it?
Just someone explain that.
Okay, so about 40 minutes until we ended, we were like, well, if this flips over, yes, we've accounted for getting oxygen on either side, but the pet's also been discombobulated. We have a water container inside that's been spilled. What do you do? So Emily and I were talking, and she suggested, based off of a Rubik's Cube toy, why don't we have one cube, one sphere inside of another? And basically, if you look here, we thought if the inside sphere is magnetized on 4 sides, and then its opposites are on the bigger sphere, then that would keep it centered. If this sphere were to flip, this one wouldn't move, because if this turned with this, the poles would hit each other and it would go back. So the pet would always sort of stay centered, and it wouldn't be thrown around. If there's a rough tide or if it hits something, the pet's always sort of kept comfortable. Again, it also has a pole so that you can pull it with you as you're walking through, and also the little snorkel thing so the pet can get oxygen. And so this would filter the air into this, and then on the top of the sphere inside it'd be perforated so that air could get into that. But again, it would be sort of a one-way thing so that nothing bad only air could get in, but nothing else.
So no matter how much you move the outside sphere, the inside would not. It would kind of cradle the animal in a sense, like you would like a child. No matter how much you turn it, you can go 360. That animal inside wouldn't turn because of the poles.
Emily got the idea off of this Rubik's Cube, where there's a sphere on the inside and then a bigger sphere on the outside. It's like a puzzle to get different little balls in. But that center sphere, which is moving the small little balls around, never changes because all sides are magnetized. So that's how we got the idea for doing this.
Well, I really like both of the ideas, and this is a very important issue because, as you've seen in the news recently, a lot of the reasons people don't evacuate sooner or get injured is because they are worried about their pets. I really like the round one because when you were describing the first one, I thought, oh, well, what happens if it flips and now your pet is being flipped around too? I just wonder, how did you guys think of, like, if your pets were larger than these containers? Like, how does this design scale?
It could only support a certain weight. You couldn't support a larger animal.
Yeah.
Because the size. Well, for something like the sphere one, it would just become too large.
So something like that could accommodate perhaps a bigger animal, but this,
we made these for like cats, like big cat, like adult cats. And so we just have to make it larger for an animal like a golden retriever.
You said that you would have this tether that you could pull it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as you were doing it, you said, well, I might have a parent or somebody holding a child.
Right.
And I'm thinking, all right, they're dragging that behind them. What if the water is going that way? Were you concerned at all that that might actually cause not only that to sink or go under the water, but to pull the adult backwards into the water, the baby going up in the air?
Well, that's a good point, and I guess that's not one that we really considered. I guess a way to I guess maybe this could be also used in terms of like first aid people. So let's say you had, I don't know, a dozen of these stacked up inside of a boat. A rescue could go into a house, place an animal inside of it, and just carry it out of the house into the rescue boat. Because to your point, it would be difficult if waters were constantly moving, if the tether was swaying around them.
Did you consider putting something on the bottom, like a fin? Which is what stabilizes boats.
We didn't. That's actually, that's a really, really good idea. You didn't think about that.
I thought about it, but we had floaties, so I thought maybe we didn't need to.
Oh, really?
The first one, you had like floaty things.
Our original design had pool noodles as our way to keep it upright, but it wasn't a perfect idea.
Of course, it wouldn't use pool noodles. It would use a traditional like tube.
Oh, hopefully something inflatable so you can deflate it when you're keeping it at home and storing it.
Basically a tube. A tube with this on top.
Anything? All right.
Welcome, Kathleen Kruth. Welcome, Dr. Jeffrey, and welcome, Andrew Grossfield. My name is Julia Simpson, and I'm the daughter of Bob Simpson, the director of Nexus. And these are my compadre, Hi, my name is Nikki Tahari, and I'm a junior in mechatronics engineering here at Bond College.
Hi, my name is David Edmondson. I'm a senior mechatronics student here at Bond College.
Oh, I'm just Victor Quesada. I'm just at Inwood. I'm just a junior there.
I'm Tommy, and I'm a sophomore at the Collegiate School for Boys.
And we're excited to show you our project that we did, and we'd love to hear what you think about it. Okay. We are solving the problem of when pets get stuck in homes and floods and hurricanes like Hurricane Irma, thank you. And we decided to build like a little pet ship, if you would like to call it. It keeps the pet safe and dry, and the bottom of the boat, we like to keep it stable. And it's important to keep our pets safe because these are family, like me, you, sister, brother, they're family to all of us. And as much as we want to keep our family safe, it's important to keep our pets safe because some people have issues like injured soldiers. They have disabilities and stuff like that, and they need us as much as we need them. We designed the boat to fit any size animal. It supports the pet in the main compartment. The rest will be explained by my best friend David.
Okay, so before we began with the whole idea, Victor came up with the idea of having a hack. He called it a Noah's Ark to put the animals in to get them to safety, and that's when we brought up the whole ship design concept. So basically, we have a hull and we have a movable base shelter for the animals to stay in, and then the hull is going to be submerged in the water, which is going to be submersible, and we made it waterproof so water doesn't get in or out. And then this is going to be scalable, and it's also going to be determined by the weight of the animal, since following the principle of Archimedes flotation. So we know that the weight of the animal and the water displaced should be equal to the same on the same side. So based on that, so we made some calculations using approximate density of water, natural water and brackish water, 62.4 and 64 kilogram per meters cube. We made some calculations and determined this was the best size for the teddy called dog. And then we made this and we used the noodles to add extra support and flotation. And then we made the base also waterproof so the water doesn't get in. And this actually is supposed to be removable, but we ran out of pads because of my best friend right here, Tommy. So we decided to just glue it fully, but realistically it's supposed to be removable, just so that we can just attach the base when it's needed. And when we get to like the rescue centers, this can just be detached and can be placed fully on the ground. And then the animals can be brought out. And yeah, so we also made some reflective panels. This is supposed to be fully reflective. Again, not enough, but it's supposed to be fully reflective. We have a homing beacon that's inside the shelter, and it's also audiophilic. Like you get those pings, like an alarm system, just in case this wander off and the owner can find it. You can look at it by sounds, and it's also supposed to be GPS enabled. And then we have the insides comfy, nice, insulated, and then realistically in the modern world, this should be made with polycarbonates and should be fully insulated, so as to prevent cold plugging on the outside due to the dry inside and the cold exchange of heat between the two layers. So it should be properly insulated. And yeah, then the top, would you explain how we got to the top?
So we were going to make a detachable roof, but we ran out of material. So instead, we settled on a tarp to keep the water out. The purpose of the removable cover was mostly in the case of rain. We didn't want to. That was originally why we. That's why we put in the mesh so that the animal would have somewhere to breathe through, other than just through the top, because during these hurricanes, during the wet seasons, it is raining a lot, and if this becomes filled with water, depending on the animal, it could drown. So there needs to be a roof, and if there's a roof, there needs to be another way for the animal to breathe. Also, the mesh is also so that the animals can be able to see the owner if it's in front and it's tagging along, because animals can get frightened very easily depending on the situation, and just to be able to factor in them being calm in whatever situation they're in. So seeing their owner in front of them, dragging them along, might actually be able to give them a sense of calm in there. And then we have the handles, just in case if they want to be airlifted, so it's easily attachable and airlifted out. And then we couldn't have enough hooks, but this is supposed to be hooked to the front also, like the idea is to be able to drag along while the owners are paddling through the waters and stuff like that. So yeah.
that's basically it for our presentation. Any questions?
So it's just the roof that would be removable, not like a kennel that sits in
The whole thing is removable. Like I said, we were supposed to be able to be removable, but we couldn't find enough panel to put it on the bottom. So we just glued the whole thing down there.
I like
so
that.
technically it's supposed to be, because that's one of the part of the concept, because if the animal is accustomed to this in the house already, it's much more easy to just attach this to it and put it on water, so they have this sense of calm as if they're still at home,
Yeah.
despite the whole raging environment going out there. But still, yeah, they can still have a sense of calm in there.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like
just
that.
like a king leader.
Felt like it was like a value add to like that it could be a kennel, but also this little boat.
Yeah.
And I like the art name. I feel like you could brand that nicely.
Brand it. Yeah, it's all big.
You said you're gonna, the real thing would be a polycarbonate and you're gonna have the roof and.
Exactly. This should be like slidable.
Are you concerned that the intensity is gonna get so great that it would actually sink?
No, because that's that's all factored in with the weight too. Because you have to consider weight with this stuff, because that's all about buoyancy.
Making it heavy though by getting all of this.
Well, the more heavier you get, the more amount of volume you should have, because volume is actually the whole thing about the displacement of buoyancy. So the more volume you have, it doesn't really care about weight. Because if it's all about weight, then ships should never be able to
Density
float.
though, isn't it about density?
Excuse me?
If it's very dense, it's gonna sink.
Yeah, if it's denser than the liquid it's in, it's gonna sink. Yeah, but that's why the weight and the material itself should be putting in consideration in what you're making, right? So if the material itself is not as much as heavy as the actual water you're displacing it, then it should float.
Okay.
So as long as the upward force of the buoyancy force acting on the material itself is greater than the weight in this place, it should float. So that's what we're going to consider in the material itself.
And David, are you including pontoons on the sides as well for?
Yeah, we're including pontoons on the sides, and we're adding extra weights also just to give much more stability. Just extra weights, like a backup plan.
Excellent.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.